Dry taps. That's been Nicole Hill's reality since the city shut her water off 6 weeks ago. She says she's maxed out her emergency savings buying bottled water. Her outstanding bill is more than $5,700. She's a single mom living on disability and says she simply cannot pay it. Nearly half of Detroit's water customers are in arrears, so the city is disconnecting service at an unprecedented pace. 12,500 in the last 90 days, though some have paid up to get their water back. The water department is $6 billion in debt and says it needs the money. But this group says low-income residents and seniors are being unfairly targeted. They're canvassing neighborhoods and handing out free water.
So this is outright war to us. It's a fascist move on the part of the state.
Even a group here in Canada has taken up the cause.
It's as clear a human rights abuse as I've seen even in very poor countries.
The Council of Canadians helped launch a formal complaint against Detroit's water department to the United Nations. 3 UN experts agreed, saying for those who cannot pay, denying access to water is a human rights violation. Barlow also plans to take this matter to the White House.
In my opinion, it's a social crime, and it's an appalling thing to do to people in the heat of summer.
The city says it's offering payment plans on a case-by-case basis. But summer is already here, and those in need of water face a new challenge. Another water rate hike kicked in this week. Asha Tomlinson, CBC News, Windsor.
And those are some people doing the right thing.
That's right. When Detroit shuts off the water to people, people got to step up and help out.
And it's just ludicrous because Detroit's sitting on the 5th largest body of fresh water in the North American continent. But that's why we do what we do. I'm Darin Howard.
And I'm Robert Nisbet.
Talking about the right thing and people doing it, which is a really awesome thing. Right here in Kelowna, there's Buddy that's doing it large.
That's right. So just over our shoulder here, the Metro community, it's about to be torn down, but they renovated. Find out why in this clip.
In a year to 18 months, the Metro Community Centre will be torn down. But that didn't stop an open house from getting underway to show off the new Safe Centre for Women. This, the day after City Council gave the thumbs up to building a new downtown hotel in the exact spot the Metro stands. But then why did the Metro renovate this space, previously occupied by the Pride Society, and seek another $15,000 to meet their funding targets for this building that is set to be demolished?
It could be a year, it could be 18 months. Frankly, 2 weeks, 10 days is a long time in the life of somebody who's homeless. So is it worth it? Absolutely. If it provides a sense of hope and dignity to somebody who doesn't have those things, then I think it is worth every penny that gets invested into this.
And Robin Rochon knows what it means to have a safe place to go when living on the streets.
The morning comes, right, and you're exhausted, you're cold or wet or dirty or just, it's really exhausting because just providing, like finding a place to get changed or change of clothes, having a shower, getting yourself fed, washed up, it can be a whole day to do that sometimes, so it's, when we open in the morning, like people are waiting for us.
About 4 to 5 women use the Safe Centre from Tuesday to Thursday to get showered, change, and feel secure while doing so. The Sunrise Rotary Club of Kelowna contributed 50% of the cost to get the centre up and running. The space is rented by the Metro from Westcorp, the developer who's set to build the new hotel. Jen Zielinski in Kelowna for Castanet News.
So that's cool.
Yeah, Lawrence East is really the spokesperson for the community.
Coming up this fall, we've got a really good special on the Metro and tying it together with homeless issues right here in Kelowna and across Canada. Remember, we've got conservatives who are doing their best to vilify and victimize the homeless people and the impoverished people in Canada. And we've got people on the street level who are taking up the slack where government is leaving off.
However, sometimes even social media can help out a person who's on the marginalization of society.
When you're really struggling, it's cool when people come together and help out. I want you to check this out.
Deaf and homeless Kevin Adams relies on odd jobs like this, communicating mostly through sign language or just writing on a pad. He's grateful to be here and for an unexpected break.
8 a.m. to 4 p.m., full-time work.
Adam's story starts in this casino parking lot. Over the weekend, he was handing out resumes here. and happened on Jennifer Martins.
He tapped me on the shoulder and I turned around a little bit surprised, and he handed me a clipboard that had a note written on it. As he was sort of explaining it, we really did believe him.
As she and her husband were leaving, they saw another person scream at Adams. They stopped again.
I said, we don't usually do this, but I took the notepad and I wrote him a little note saying, we wanted to really help him and that I was going to send out his resume to everyone we knew.
Adams, it turns out, has been doing this since arriving in Winnipeg from Eastern Canada, looking for work while living at the Salvation Army for the last year. Mark Stewart is residential coordinator.
He faces a disability that most people don't, and it's very difficult for anybody to get a job. Then you add marginalization, then you add disability. It just makes it 10 times greater.
So what happened next came as a surprise. Martins posted Adams' resume on Facebook. Soon it went well beyond her circle of friends, with more than 2,200 shares.
It has obviously gone viral and spread like wildfire, and we had no idea that this would happen, but we're thrilled.
It shocked Adams, too.
So you're surprised? You're happy?
With those shares are coming job offers. Right now, this painting gig is looking promising.
Are you confident you'll be working for a while? Hope all season, all year. Work all year. That's excellent. That's a great.
With a stable job, the hope is to move back on his own later this summer. Opportunity made possible through one act of kindness. Cameron McIntosh, CBC News, Winnipeg.
So social media.
It's working for everybody.
And I'm really happy because social media has propelled us in what we're doing. Thank you guys very much. We're at 73,000 views, just about that right now while we're recording, because the ticker seems to go up fairly quick lately.
We couldn't have done it without you.
And we really appreciate it too. To show our appreciation, one of the things that we do talk about is the fact that there are solutions, and one of them involves money.
Something most people don't spend a lot of time thinking about.
So, you want solutions? Here's a really cool one on how to do the right thing as far as banking is concerned.
In one way or another, money affects almost everything that happens on the planet. If we want to deal with the big social, economic, and environmental challenges that we're facing today, changing the nature of the money we use is where we have to start. Right now, we have a problem. More than 97% of all the money in our economy is created by banks when they make loans. Most of this money goes into house price bubbles and gambling on financial markets. This has led to ever-widening inequality, the highest personal debt in history, and house prices that very few people can afford, before even mentioning the financial crisis. But 3 simple changes to the way that money and banking works could make a huge difference. These 3 changes would give us a more stable economy, with more jobs, less personal and government debt, and a solid footing to begin tackling the environmental crisis. So, what do we need to do? Firstly, we need to take the power to create money away from the banks and return it to a democratic, accountable, and transparent process. History has shown that when banks have the power to create money, they create too much in the good times, causing financial crises, and too little in the bad times, making recession and unemployment even worse. They put most of the money that they create into house price bubbles and financial speculation, and only a small amount into businesses outside the financial sector. We simply don't think that we can trust banks, who are hardwired to chase short-term profits, with something as powerful as the ability to create money. And it's not enough to regulate them. Regulators have repeatedly failed to keep banks under control. There's no reason why they should get it right this time around. But we can't trust politicians with the keys to the printing press any more than we can trust the big banks. Instead, we need a new committee that decides whether and when to create new money. This committee would need to be accountable to Parliament and sheltered from vested interests. They would ensure the right amount of money is created, not enough to cause bubbles in a financial crisis, but not so little that it causes a recession. Secondly, we want to see money created free of debt. Right now, banks create money when they make loans, which means that for every pound in your bank account, someone else must be a pound in debt. It means that almost all the money in the economy is effectively on loan from the banks, and we have to pay interest on nearly every pound that exists. If we try to pay down our debts, money disappears from the economy, making it harder for others to repay their own debt. Instead of letting banks create our money, the state could create it, free of debt. And instead of lending money into the economy through mortgages and loans, it could be spent into the economy. This means that new debt-free money would stimulate the real economy, create jobs, and make it possible for ordinary people to start paying down their debts. Finally, we want to see money come into the real economy before it reaches financial markets and property bubbles. If newly created money was used to fund public spending or cut taxes for ordinary people, then that money would start its life in the real economy. It would create jobs and support businesses, instead of getting trapped in financial and property markets. There are real challenges facing us over the next 40 years, such as how to provide for a growing population, a changing climate, and increasingly scarce natural resources. Right now, it's impossible to solve these problems because money, which affects almost every aspect of our lives, is broken. We need to fix it and get a money system that works for society rather than against it.
So that's like the happiest clip ever.
Oh, I love solutions like that.
You know, and I'm sorry, bankers, your bank policies have screwed up quite a bit on this planet. Time to get things back under control. I'm Darin Howard.
And I'm Robert Nisbet.
Awesome specials coming up right here. We're going to be talking about a couple serious issues. Police brutality is on the way.
As well as our court stepping up and doing the right thing.
That's right. And progress. Coming up next on our series and uploading during the week is going to be a special on progress and how things are done correctly. I am Darin Howard.
And I am Robert Nisbet.
Thanks for tuning in. It's Video Radio. This is the way we do independent media, 100% capitalist, propaganda-free.
Except for this commercial.
That's great.
What would you do if you knew that somewhere in America there was a politician who's in debt and dead broke?
We came out of the White House not only dead broke, but in debt.
What if all you needed to do was reach into your pocket and pull out a couple $1 million? You could help these dead broke politicians like Bill and Hillary Clinton. And that's why we're starting the Hillary Clinton Fund for Dead Broke Politicians.
Donate today. So, will you donate today to the Hillary Clinton Fund for Dead Broke Politicians?
No.
Hillary Clinton was broke when she came out of the White House, though. She needs your help.
Well, she told Diane Sawyer in an interview that when she left the White House, she was dead broke. So, are you sure you don't want to help her out a little bit?
I don't really think she's broke in the first place.
I just graduated from college, so I'm dead broke, Hillary.
He's dead.
I feel bad for her.
Yeah?
I don't know. She's dead broke. Here. That's so hard to believe.
Yeah, it is. Especially since she had an $8 million advancement on her book, It Takes a Village. But if it takes a village to raise a kid, it might take a village to help someone with their finances.
5 cents?
Yeah, that'd be great. We're going to mail this to her.
You've made $5 million? Making speeches, the president's made more than $100 million?
Well, if you have no reason to remember, but we came out of the White House not only dead broke, but in debt.
Do you think Hillary Clinton is out of touch with Americans when she says she left the White House, her and Bill, dead broke?
Yeah, that seems kind of crazy that she'd actually have the gall to say that if she's actually ever going to get elected to anything ever again.
Do you think she is equipped to handle the economy of the nation when she couldn't even control her own finances?
No, yeah, especially if she thinks like however many $1 million is dead broke. That doesn't seem like a good person to be, actually making economic decisions about how to tax people.
I'm dead broke, Hillary. So if you want to donate to me, please find me around Georgetown.